The biggest story here recently, of course, has been the situation that happened up at Notre Dame. Or let me back up, even though I'm not Catholic, I'll call it what it is. It's a scandal and an outrage that they allowed a pro-abort, moral degenerate like Barack Obama to come there. And they openly admitted they did it for the prestige. They didn't, you know, it doesn't matter what the, I guess if he was a prestigious Klansman, they'd have had him there. Yeah. You know, all that matters is prestige. It doesn't matter what his mission is. But, you know, and a lot of people got a lot of press over this. And I mean, I watched the coverage on Fox when it happened, and I had to turn it off because it was making me sick to my stomach to see this guy Jenkins walk in almost hand in hand with Obama, and this man get this standing thunderous ovation like he got. Meanwhile, outside,
things, he said.
Oh yeah, right. And then meanwhile, outside, good Catholic people are getting arrested for being on a Catholic university and standing up for the Catholic position on abortion. They're being arrested. This degenerate is in there with the president of Notre Dame receiving these accolades and getting a doctorate degree.
Making people think he's pro-life, and that he cares about reducing abortion. And then you've got students who are outside who have given up their graduation ceremony for all the hard work that they've put into it because they wanted to make a stand.
Right. And, you know, the picture of seeing that go on, and then at the same time they're showing a split screen, they're showing Father Westland, for example, getting arrested outside. It was just more than I could take, and I couldn't watch it. But in any event, we've got one of the students here, a friend of yours, who's here to join us today. Her name's Anna Franzonello, I think. I hope I got that right. Hello, Anna.
Hi.
Did I butcher your name too badly?
No, you got it right.
Okay, good. Well,
Sounds like a good Italian name.
It does sound like an Italian. It has that kind of Italian ring to it.
Yes.
You just graduated from Notre Dame.
Yep.
But you weren't one of the ones giving the thunderous applause to.
No, I skipped the commencement.
And you were outside at the grotto, I assume.
I was, yeah, at the rally that the ND Response students put on out in South Quad and then at the grotto.
So you graduated with a law degree.
I did.
And you gave up your graduation basically to make a point.
Yeah, well, I knew that I wouldn't be able to go to commencement in good conscience and to applaud when, you know, they're handing him an honorary degree, especially, you know, it's an honorary doctorate of law, the same degree I was getting, although mine wasn't honorary. I actually worked for it. But, I mean, to what that means, what the degree meant, why I chose to go to Notre Dame in the first place for its Catholic identity and for the fact that I was going to get something different out of my law degree than at any other university. You know, I couldn't in good conscience go and support that, you know, especially in the face of what the bishops have said, you know, because people ask, well, what if they hadn't given the honorary degree, would you have been able to go, you know, if he was just the commencement speaker, if it was like Arizona State? And still, no. Your commencement speaker is the person that they've chosen to send you off into the world listening to. You know, it's the beginning of your new life, and someone, you know, that's done the things that Obama has in office already. When we talk about Mexico City policy, embryonic stem cell research funding, you know, he didn't keep the status quo on life issues. Like, he's dramatically changed it in his first few months in office, and I can't go in good conscience, especially at a Catholic school. I didn't go to a secular school. Had I gone to a secular school, I would have expected this. Had I gone to, you know, maybe a Georgetown or a Fordham or somewhere else where they don't at least say they're adhering to their Catholic mission anymore, as much as Notre Dame does, you know, I would have expected it. I still would have been very upset and not gone. But this is, you know, Notre Dame is still, it's iconic at least as far as what it means to the Catholic Church and the Catholic world. And you said it a minute ago, but it was scandalous. Like, it's very scandalous that this Catholic school invited Obama and everything that he's done in the face of what the Church says about life issues.
Well, you know, I hear this guy Jenkins and others there defending us, saying, well, it's a way to start dialogue. There's no dialogue. The man's giving a speech. You don't have an opportunity. You try to dialogue with him, they'll haul you off in handcuffs.
They were giving him a platform, and this is what the Church was against. They were giving him a platform to make his case, and we all know he's a charismatic, great speaker. And if you listen to his speech, it sounded great. Yeah, for that, I'm fine. I'm for working with everyone. I mean, but if you sit there and look at the things he's saying, it's a complete contradiction to what he's actually doing. And I think this was, I mean, for our perspective as students for life, we had people calling in going, okay, Kristen, you've got to get all your thousands of students out on the campus. And for us, our students really weren't that enraged. and out, and and the students at Notre Dame were enraged. But for the other kids who go to secular schools or students at Georgetown, they're like, we had the president last week, and we covered up all the religious symbols, for him. So for students, it really wasn't that outrage, but it served as a mechanism, I think, to get the adult pro-life movement a little more reinvigorated, especially the Catholic.
Let me tell you why Obama's there. This was pure 100% cynical politics. He knows that the abortion thing could hurt him, and it could especially hurt him with Catholic voters. This was a way to neutralize opposition within the Catholic Church, because he's able now to trot around the country and say, hey, Catholics invited me, they gave me a degree, they obviously don't have that big a problem with my positions. And when 54% of the Catholics, as they did in this last election, voted for this guy, he knows that without that, he wouldn't have won.
He knows it can easily go back to how it was in the Bush years when Catholics were voting for Bush. I think that worries him. Anna, how many other students were with you at the alternative graduation, Father Frank?
I mean, I've heard estimates of, because it was hard to tell exactly how many students were there, because the initial stuff we were kind of spread out. But then at the Grotto, I think there were about 20 seniors, and then I know that there were at least 10 law students there as well.
Right.
But then I know of other law students in my class who were at various parts of the ND Response rally that weren't at the Grotto. There's one of my classmates. She had a baby this last year. She got married last summer, had a baby this year, so definitely worked harder than any of the rest of us to get her degree, because I don't think she slept this semester.
Wow.
But she, her son was acting up at one point, so she had to leave. But I know of a lot of students that even some of my classmates who still went to commencement just because they thought, well, this is something that they had to do. They had to go, and just afterwards said, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just gone with you. It was sick to watch people stand and give him a standing ovation for when he talks about embryonic stem cell research, and just one of my friends remarked that she just was wondering if people even understood what they were clapping for. And, Jenkins kept saying over and over and over again before graduation this was going to be about dialogue. But again, like you guys have said, I don't understand how this was dialogue when, Obama gets a standing ovation for talking about embryonic stem cell research and,
There's no dialogue.
Dialogue is a debate, not a platform.
Or at least a conversation between two or more people.
There's no rebuttal that's not dialogue.
No, it's not dialogue.
Yeah. And that's not, dialogue isn't, the commencement isn't supposed to be about dialogue. It's supposed to be about, someone sending you off into the world. And if the bishops hadn't, made a statement several years ago, if this hadn't been going on at other Catholic universities, you could maybe say, well, maybe Notre Dame just didn't understand. But they understood. No. They knew. And it's really sad.
Why do we have just the boring old commencement speakers that everybody forgets? Why do we have to go to
because it's prestigious.
But in some ways, I did in some ways have a great graduation, because I got to hear some wonderful speakers, that the ND Response students had brought in. The prayer service at the Grotto is really nice. So, in some ways, I did have an enjoyable experience. It was a beautiful day. I was outside all day, but it's shameful that that's the reason why it was.
Well, Anna, thank you for being with us, and regardless of what anybody tells you, and you'll always know for the rest of your life that you did the right thing.
That's right.
So
just thank you, and thank you for having me on.
Take that with you, and we appreciate your being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.